Okay. Oh boy, it's cold. Because I can't run the heater because it's too noisy. All right. Here we go, folks. Lesson 6. Now, hopefully, this is the last lesson and session that you're going to need before I get back. And this is on looping. So, we will occasionally, or more than occasionally, need a program to run multiple times. And there are a couple ways that we can do that, but what I'm going to show you today is what is called a for loop. Okay, because this for loop is going to run a set number of times that we can either state or that can be controlled by our data, so we don't have to say how long we want it to run for. Now, as you can see over here in my output, I have got the word Boris printed out one letter at a time. Now, there's a way that I could do that if I was boring, which is I could just print B, and then on my next line I could print O, and etc, etc, etc. Now, that's boring. There's an easier way that we can do that. Because the other way, as some people could say, well, using what you learned yesterday, you could just go print name 0, and then on the next line print name 1 over and over again, or we get a for loop to do this for us. So here is a way that we can do that. We're going to go for. Now, once again, this is a control flow. So this is going to have a colon at the end of the control flow, and it's going to have a block of code underneath it that we're going to be running as part of the for loop. So, different kind of structure than the if statement, because you're not really comparing something here, you're establishing the parameters for the loop. So we're going to say for C in name. Now, what that's doing is that is saying inside of this loop for as many things that are inside this variable. So in this particular case, we have got 5 objects inside of our variable, B-O-R-I-S. So for every single one of those, we're going to run what's inside this loop, which in this particular case is going to be a print, but here's the trick. We're going to print C. Now, the variable C, which we've established here in the for loop, is set up specifically to store each separate thing inside our variable over here every time it runs. So the first time it runs, it will store B. So therefore, when we print C, the first time it runs, we should print B. Then, on a new line, it should print the next thing it stores, which will be O, etc., etc., on until we get to S for Boris. Let's run it and see what happens. And there we go. So now we have Boris. We've printed him out using the for loop. I can change this little C here to be something like Chris, because it's just a variable name. And as long as I'm printing the right thing, every single time I do it, Boris will print out correctly. I could say Boris and Natasha in the name. Mood lighting again. Woo! And there we go. Prints them out perfectly for me, Boris and Natasha. So that is a for loop, and there are a whole bunch of different things that you can use the for loops for, which I'm going to get you guys to explore. That is actually probably the quickest lesson that we're doing on for loops, because there's going to be a little challenge of printing something specifically out for it. But my challenge to you is, once you finish that one, is to create some kind of a program. It's entirely up to you as to what you want to do, using all of the different skills that you've learned from the previous lessons. One of which is making sure that lights turn on properly. Didn't work. So look at string manipulation, look at the different if or else's that you can create, look at the for loops that you can now do and experiment around with and play with, and see what you can create. Do something cool. Aside from that, good luck.